Step 19. Install strap. Unroll the plastic-coated strap and guide it into position by running it behind the smaller strap pulley and then around the shaft. Position it on the black plastic start spacer between the two guide discs. Insert 2 1/4-inch bolts through the pre-drilled holes in each guide disc. The bolts should be on the outside of the strap. The strap should run between the bolts. Thread the 1/4-inch lock nut onto the bolt, but do not tighten just yet. Install the remaining 1/4-inch bolt through the J-shaped slot in the guide discs. Thread a 1/4-inch lock nut on the bolt, but do not tighten yet. Step 20. Assemble weight bracket and rod. Slide the strap clevis bracket onto the rod so that the flat bottom portion of the bracket is towards the washers and nut. Thread 1 3/8-inch lock nut onto the threaded rod so the end of this rod is flush with the outside of the nut. Slide all 1 1/2-inch washers provided onto the rod. Thread a 3/8-inch lock nut onto the opposite end of the rod until the end of the rod is flush with the outside of the nut. Make sure the strap doesn't have any twists in it and the sewn splice of the strap is about 8 inches above the bottom. Place the strap spool on the loop of the strap. Align the strap spool with the 2 top holes in the strap clevis bracket. Insert a 3/8-inch by 3-inch bolt through the bracket and the spool. Thread a 3/8-inch lock nut onto the bolts. Tighten the nut until the end of the bolt is flush with the outside of the nut. The bolt must be free to spin. Do not over-tighten. Step 21. Install counterweights. Slide the washers on the strap rod to the top, leaving 1 washer at the bottom. Place one of the larger 19-pound weights of the rod so it rests on the bottom washer. Lower one of the washers onto the first weight and stack another 19-pound weight on top of the first one. Note, rotate the second weight 180 degrees so that the gaps in the weights are facing opposite directions. Continue stacking large weights in this manner, making sure to place a washer in between each one and to rotate each weight 180 degrees. Finish by stacking any smaller weights provided on top of the large weights.